perks are a staple in COD Zombies, with them first being introduced all the way back in World at War of Rooked, and they were in virtually every single map since. Clearly, if they've stuck around this long, they're probably pretty important, right? Well, you never need to buy them, but it sure does help a lot. I wanted to try and get round 100 without them, and I could take the easy way out and play Black Ops 4 where you literally spawn in with Juggernog and all your quick revives, but that would be lame. So I thought about it for a while and came to the conclusion that Shadows of Evil would be the perfect map for this challenge. My first attempt sure was a first attempt because I ended up dying on round 5. While I was doing the second ritual trying to unlock Pack-a-Punch, my character fell off this stage and started running like he was in a dream. This is kinda when I realized that there was definitely gonna be problems that came from me playing this map. One example is the Margwa, who can literally one-tap you without Juggernog, and because I can't also buy Quick Revive, that's just an instant game over. Another thing I knew was an issue was the meatballs, which can kill you incredibly fast. But I just persevered and gave it another shot anyway. And I'm glad I did because my second attempt actually went really well for just a second attempt. It started off with me getting the Drakon from the box, which if you don't know is easily one of the most powerful weapons in this entire game. And simply because of that, taking down the first Margwas that got summoned from the Pack-a-Punch rituals was no problem. Just because I got this gun though didn't mean that I could just relax, because even on the easy bug rounds, if I just got hit one too many times, that's a game over. Next, I made my way over to the Canals district where I grabbed the fuse and also the shield part, which both are super essential for me getting round 100. When I was trying to make my way out of there, I got jump scared by this zombie and honestly have no idea how I didn't die right there. That zombie was trying to kill me with her life. I rode the train to the Waterfront district, which is easily the most important place on the map because that's where our strategy is. I'm sure most of you already know by now, but if you leave this door closed, then it makes for an amazing camping spot that's incredibly quick. This is the strategy I plan to use to get my round 100, but the only issue is that this attempt I made a huge mistake. You see, when you're camping in a spot, you want to leave this staircase closed so that the zombies spawn faster and you can get through the rounds quicker. But I guess I wasn't really paying attention because I opened the staircase and just continued playing like normal. This game was going quite literally as good as it could be because I got Pack-a-Punch open fairly quickly, I started working on the sword, and it was just all going well. I even fully upgraded the sword and also got the Apothicon Servant. After finally starting the strategy on round 23, I realized that I opened the staircase and all the time I just wasted essentially. I still wanted to see how far I could get even with that staircase open though, so I kept on playing the game, and round 30 is the answer because that's when I got sniped by this bug right here. I was already mad because of all the time I wasted, but when I went to go spend my Liquid Divinium, the game just added the cherry on top. That actually used my Liquid Divinium too, wow. Yeah, I think that's my sign to get off for the day.
Fetch me this!
So far, everything was going really well, and I found out a way to deal with the Margwas by using the Silver Protector to insta-kill them. Things were looking good, but that could change really quickly, but to be honest, I wasn't really worried from rounds like 20 to 40 doing this strategy because, I mean, you can even see how incredibly easy this is. I didn't even have to shoot my Apothicon because the chain trap would deal with the zombies coming down from the middle, and the Silver Protector just was strong enough to kill the zombies rushing out of the barrier. But when the zombies eventually became too strong to keep doing this, I bought the Kuda, which is at the very end of the hall, and I went and got Deadwire on it. This is when it started to get really hectic in this spot because you kind of have to train the zombies around in a little circle in the back of this area so that you can get the maximum potential out of each of your Apothicon shots. Thankfully, these early rounds kind of acted like a warm-up because they were pretty sparing with the max ammos and I could use the Apothicon a decent amount. I also discovered something that would change literally the entire game because when I went down right here, to my surprise, the game didn't just end, but the Silver Protector actually came and revived me. I remember something about him being able to do this, but I wasn't sure if he only did it when you had Quick Revive or not, but it turns out he just does it no matter what. So I definitely was sure to have the Silver Protector up at all times that I could, but there was a slight cooldown on him, and if he died mid-round, there wasn't really much I could do about it. I even managed to get to round 50 with little to no problems. but this is the exact moment when the run started to kind of go downhill. This is because I summoned the Silver Protector 1 second too early, because as soon as I did it, the Margwa spawned in, which means I could no longer just insta-kill it. Now I just had to work my way around the Margwa until either the Silver Protector died and I can summon another one, or I found another way to deal with this Margwa. I was able to maneuver my way back into the camping spot, but I don't know if that was the best idea because now I was in a bit of a predicament. My plan was to stun the Margwa by popping one of its heads with the sword and then run out behind it, but then suddenly the zombies just red screened me. I kinda just ran back and accepted my fate after this, but that's when I realized that you can become the beast and just instantly be safe. The second I became the beast, I turned around and just saw instant death behind me. But I was only safe for a second because I eventually had to return to the human form and I still had to deal with the Margwa. I kinda just trained it around the building with the boxing ring, where I eventually was able to just pop all 3 of its heads by using the upgraded Kuda while being extremely careful not to get cornered by the zombies. After all that chaos, everything was back to normal and I just returned to doing the strat regularly. Only a few rounds later, this meatball red screened me and I just ran to the back of the spot hoping that no zombie could get a lucky hit on me. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that the shield is easily one of the most important things for this challenge, because if I didn't have it, then I'm just dead over and over again right here. It's also worth mentioning that the Silver Protector died right as I was in that spot, so if one zombie actually did hit me, then that was the entire game. Even when you have things like insta-kill, on these later rounds with no perks, you still have to play incredibly careful because of things like this. How did I just die so fast? Thank goodness I have the Silver Protector up. After that death, it's safe to say that I stayed far back in my camping spot because I didn't want anything like that happening again, especially if I didn't have the Silver Protector active. As the rounds kept going up, ammo became more and more of an issue. Even on round 65, this max ammo was hugely appreciated because I already used 1 alchemical antithesis and I had 0 bullets again. But ammo wasn't even my biggest issue this game because next round I summoned the Silver Protector too early again. Only difference is, dealing with the Margwa on this high of a round is much harder than it was earlier on. I kept on going down and could only pop one of the Margwa heads, but the Silver Protector came in clutch and just kept on reviving me. The only issue is the Silver Protector definitely does not last forever, and when I walked into this alleyway, I tried to pop one of the Margwa heads, and that was just my worst mistake. But I wasn't gonna give up after that, so I jumped straight into another game to try again. And well, I guess I lost my touch of just getting set up in the early game because, well, I just suffered for probably the next 2 hours.
Ain't gonna go easier.
After all of those atrocious attempts, I was able to actually get a good start going because the first gun I got from the box was the ray gun. This was super helpful against the Margwas and the meatballs, which were how I died most of the time. Especially when I got at Pack-a-Punch, getting the upgraded sword and all that was not nearly as hard as it was when I didn't have it. Just after a few hours, I reached a new highest round, which was round 69, and this is when I really started to struggle more with ammo. I started using the least amount of Apothicon shots possible, where you shoot about 2 or even 1 shot maybe some of the time to get your sword up, and then I tried my absolute hardest to just let the sword kill all the zombies and save all the Apothicon ammo possible. I was pretty successful when doing the cycle and it saved me a ton of ammo in this game, but the only thing is sometimes I did have to use some panic shots, but that's better than me dying. Running out of ammo in this spot is super dangerous even when you have alchemical, because right here I try to pop the gobblegum to just get 1 bullet, but it takes a super long time to reload, and this entire time I'm just hoping the zombies don't kill me. It also didn't help that literally every single bug round I got where I was guaranteed a max ammo, I would simply get a max ammo right after it, and then I wouldn't get a max ammo for the longest time. But I was able to successfully cycle my gobblegum most of the time, which would allow me to get a ton of alchems. But like I said earlier, when you're completely out of ammo, even with alchem, it can still be incredibly dangerous in this spot, and this is kind of what I was talking about. I was pretty glad I had my mic muted right here because, to say the least, I was pretty upset about this death. But if I'm being 100% honest, at this point I was incredibly sick of Shadows of Evil and played more than 10 games at this point of just this challenge. So this is where I called it, and I could not complete the challenge, but in my opinion round 75 with no perks is still a really good accomplishment. But that is going to be this video, so if you do want to see me try this challenge again and hopefully actually succeed, then let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.